Welcome back to our Shir in Lakutei Sichas. We begin a new round of Sichas from Bereishis in Chelek Yud. This is a Sicha from Simchas Torah Tovshin Chavov 5726, 1965. And like in many Sichas of Simchas Torah, the Rebbe touches on seminal core issues of Torah and its relationship with the world. Here too, the Rebbe brings out a very fundamental idea from the account of Bereishis, the account of creation. The Rebbe comments on the third posuk in the Torah, the first actual commandment, in other words, instruction of the 10 utterances with which Hashem created heaven and earth, and that is, Vayomer Elokim Yehi Oyer. Hashem said, let there be light. That is the usual translation of those words, Yehi Oyer, let there be light. Meaning that light is the first existence, the first being that Hashem created on day one of creation, before he created anything else in all the other 6 days of creation. Now the Rabbi asked, it's strange. The advantage of light is that it illuminates for those present so that they can see what's going on. It would not seem that the advantage of light is in itself. It's in its illumination. But when there's nobody in existence for whom to illuminate, what's the point of light? Now we might say that in fact, at this point when Hashem created light, there wasn't any purpose. But the idea of creating light first is so that the creatures who would be created subsequently would find light in their world when they came into being, and the world would be ready for them with illumination. Something like the way the Gemara says about why man was created last, so that he would find a table prepared for him, everything is ready. So maybe Hashem created light first in order to prepare for those creatures who are going to be created subsequently, that they should have illumination. So the Rebbe know it's difficult to say, because if so, then the creation of light should have come in close proximity to the creation of those beings who benefit from light. Who benefits from light? Living beings, and to a certain degree, vegetation. Living beings began to be created on day 4. Vegetation came into being on day 3. So it would stand to reason that light would be created for the benefit of those creatures close to the time of their creation. In fact, light is created on day 1. And those beings who benefit from it only on day 3 and afterwards on subsequent days. So that takes away that answer. So we're back to the question of what the point of light when nothing else exists. The Rebbe points out that Chazal teach us that this light, which was created on day 1, which, by the way, was not the light of the luminaries, sun, moon, stars, because they were created later. So it was a special light which was created on day one. That light, Hashem hid away for the tzaddikim in the world to come. And here too is difficult to understand, since the whole point of light is to illuminate. What's the good of light that's hidden? Why hide it right after it's created in such a way as to render its creation meaningless? Yes, we find in the words of Chazal different explanations of why Hashem hid the light, but all those explanations were already known by the Eibishter when he created them. So why create them in such a way, created light in such a way that he'll subsequently have to hide it? Obviously, the very creation of light, even though it's not going to illuminate, it'll be hidden. The very creation of light is an important component in the creation of the world at large. What is that? A third point we need to understand. The Zohar teaches that the word oir and the word roz, oir meaning light, roz meaning secret or mystery, are equivalent in their gematria. Both of them add up to 207. Now we know that when two things have a similar gematria, numerical value which is the same, it's not that they're the same by dint of their numerical value. The other way around. They are the same in their being, in their meaning, in their essence. And that sameness is reflected in their numerical value being the same, which, as the Alter Rebbe pointed out in Shara Yichud Ve'emunah in Tanya, numerical value is like a downgraded form of the vitality of an object. The name of an object is its vitality, and the numerical value of the word, which is its name, is the downgraded form of its vitality. So it comes out that the similarity of the being starts with their essence. It's expressed in a lower way through the numerical value. Now we need to understand how can oir, light, and roz, secret or mystery, be equivalent. They're just the opposite of one another. Oir is illumination, and roz, secret or mystery, is hiddenness. So the Rabbi begins to explain this in section 4 by quoting a famous statement of Chazal. It is customary for a flesh and blood king, a human king, that when he wants to build a palace, he doesn't just build it out of his head. First, he makes plans and drawings and sketches, and from that, he actually goes to construct the actual building. So too HaKadosh Baruch Hu, meaning that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in his creation of the world, conducted himself in the way a human being would conduct himself when planning a project, a building. And here the Rebbe says, we have to understand the proper order. It's not that Hashem does the way a human being would. It's the other way around. The fact that we find this conduct with a human being is because that's the way it is in Hashem's conduct. And from that, it's nishtalshel, it comes down into our world to human conduct. But we, looking from the bottom up, from the consequence to the cause, we can't look from the cause to the consequence. We are faced with the results with the world, and we have to project backward. So we see that Hashem conducted himself like a human being, a king would. At any rate, we see that Hashem conducted himself in some way like a person would plan a project. What is it about a person planning a project? What do we find? Before getting involved in the actual project, a person will outline a mission statement. What do I want to accomplish with this project? What do I want the outcome to be? And according to that intended outcome, he will act and design the project that he wants to make so that it should lead to the intended consequence. So it is too with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Before Hashem started to create the rest of the world, first he made something which is the mission statement of the entire creation. What is that? Let there be light. And the Rebbe reinterprets the words, not let there be light, but let it be light. Let what? All of creation, everything. What is its purpose? What is its function? What's the intention? That all of it should be transformed into light. That is the mission statement of all of creation. So first Hashem made the mission statement, which is light. Not just to serve an existing creation, but to delineate what is this coming creation about light. It is the function of everything in the world, and world is called olam in Hebrew, and olam is related to the world. The word helem, concealment. The world conceals its creator and his purpose, but what is the point of every created object? That ultimately it should turn into light, it should reveal Hashem's presence in this world. And that's why Hashem created light on day one of creation before anything else existed, in order to establish that mission statement. But it goes further. Concerning every creature that Hashem created subsequently, the Pasuk says, Vayar Elekim ki toiv. Hashem saw that it was good. What do you mean it was good? What does the term good mean? The Gemara relates in Masechet Psochim that Rabbi Meir came to a place, an innkeeper who was very unsavory, and he would attack his guests. He would take them out in the dark and attack them and rob them. And this innkeeper woke him early morning while it was still dark. And he said, come, let's get on our way so you'll get a head start on your trip. And the Rabbi said, I'm waiting for my friend to come first. Your friend? Who's your friend? Oh, it's this fellow called Toiv. Toiv, okay. So we'll wait for your friend. They waited and waited until it was bright and the sun had come up, and that's when the Rabbi was ready to go. Said the innkeeper, where's your friend? And the mayor said, my friend is the light. His name is Toiv. As the Pasuk says, Vayar Elekim es ha'or ki toiv. Hashem saw that the light is good. So my friend who's called Toiv is the light, the daylight. I was waiting for daylight in order that you should not be able to carry out your nefarious plans. you shouldn't be able to take me out in the dark. That's the friend Toiv. When it says about each and every creation that Hashem saw that it is good, that good also translates to light. So we see from this that the creation of light is not only as an original mission statement about the creation that is to come, but it is also built in each and every creature. Toiv, its point is toiv, that statement and that purpose and that intention becomes part of each and every creation. How so? When a person designs a project, his intention, his purpose stands revealed and open in his mind at the beginning of the project. He's thinking of the end goal, and that's what is uppermost in his mind. That's before he starts the project. Now that mission statement will find expression in the subsequent stages of executing the plan, because the person, once he's established a mission statement, he will now act in such ways as to allow his project, his creation, to fulfill that mission statement, which was clear at the beginning, before he started acting. Each component of the project will be so designed as to carry out the mission. So the ki toiv, the light, which is the end goal of creation as a whole, becomes part of and embedded within every single creation. Ki toiv, this is what it's about. Naturally, the intention and the purpose and the mission is not as clear in the object, in the design of the objects, as it was when he formulated the mission statement at the beginning, but a ha'ora, a glimmer, a me'ain, like that original mission statement is embedded in each and every stage of the project. The Rabbi goes down to explain this Kabbalistically in terms of the spheres, whether the light of the first day was the sphere of Keser or whether it was the sphere of Chesed. Keser is a primordial sphere, above, beyond, before all the spheres. That's like the mission statement which stands revealed in the mind of the project, the developer, when he starts the project, Keser. Chesed is what accompanies each and every one of the days subsequent to the first day, which is the day of Chesed. Chesed accompanies all the stages of creation. That's the way the mission statement is embedded in all of creation. But we won't go into the particulars of the Kabbalistic idea now. Now let's come back to the statement of the Zohar that Oir and Roz, light and mystery, have the equivalent gematria, which means that they are the same in concept. And the Rebbe asked before, surely they're opposites. Oir is illumination and Roz is concealment or mystery. Says the Rebbe, now we can understand. The oir, the light, which is open in the mind, in the design of Hashem, before he starts creating other things, that's open in his mind. But in the creation itself, although it's embedded, it's hidden, it's rose. As we said before, only a glimmer of it is found in the actual creation. And that's also the meaning of what Chazal say, that Hashem hid the light. What do we mean he hid the light? And the Rabbi asked before, what's the point of a light if it's hidden? The meaning of the hidden light is that the ultimate goal of Hashem's project of creation will be revealed in the world to come, when the world reaches its fruition, when it comes to the end of its mission. Like every project, where the goal comes out at the end of the project. But in the meantime, Roz, what is hidden, is the design of the world and the project according to the way it will fulfill its purpose and its mission. That is a hidden form of the mission statement. Roz. Where did Hashem hide it? He hid it until the world to come. Where's it hidden? The Chazal tell us that Hashem hid it in Torah. What does it mean he hid the light in Torah? Since the project of Hashem's creation becoming light is fulfilled through our observance of Torah, that's the way we get there. So Hashem hid the light in the mission statement in the Torah, and that is the way we reveal that light. We reveal Hashem's purpose through the fulfillment, the study, and the observance of Torah. What does all this mean in terms of our avodas Hashem? This is a description of the way Hashem created the world. What does it mean for us in serving Hashem? First of all, says the Rabbi, we have to know that our job is to make light. It's not good enough to keep away from evil or evildoers. Sur merah, turn away from evil. That's not the point of creation. The point of creation is to make light and to transform the concealment of the world into light. If a person cloistered himself and kept away from evil, he has not fulfilled his mission in the world, which is to bring Hashem's project to completion. Just as Hashem had the mission statement clearly, openly, when he started to create, and subsequently throughout creation, he embedded that mission statement in the design of creation so that everything should conform to his mission. So too in a person's life on a regular basis. First of all, on a daily basis. When a person wakes up in the morning, he must start off, and it has to be, the Rebbe doesn't let it go just with the original Hebrew. He translates it into Yiddish. It has to be eingekarbt und abgelegt. It has to be engraved and abgelegt, clear. What is my day going to be about? I've woken up to a new day. What is that day about? Yehi oir, to make light. That's my purpose. I just woke up. I'm like a new being. Abiria chadosha, as the Gemara puts it. So I must know my mission statement as this new being today, to make the world light bright. Once he's established that mission statement, then he can go on to act through the day in conformity with the mission statement which is set down right at the beginning. He must make sure that his subsequent activities match that mission which is stated at the beginning of the day. That's the avodah of a person. And the Rebbe said it's not only at the beginning of a day that a person has to set this mission statement clearly in mind, but periodically through the day, especially since the world is constantly being recreated. A person has to come back to that mission statement periodically through the day and then act according to it the rest of the time until the next time he refreshes that mission statement. And now the Rebbe comes to a subtle point, and we'll try to give it over, but it is subtle. The Rebbe said it's not just the world in general that's created in order to become light. Yehi oira, let it be light. But in fact, the very being of darkness, not just the absence of light, but the being which is called darkness, it too is for the sake of light. And not only so that a person should be able to choose light over darkness, which would be impossible if there weren't any darkness. More than that, the point is to transform the darkness itself and the negative and the opposite of godliness and holiness, to transform that darkness into light. And that is its purpose. What is the effect of that attitude? When a person is confronted by an obstacle in his avodas Hashem, something blocking him from doing what he's supposed to do as a Yid, then he can know for certain that that obstacle was put there in order for me to transform it, transcend and transform. So instead of being blocked by the obstacle, I know for sure that I can get through it and overcome it and transform it, because that's what it was created for. Even darkness was created to become light. That sounds like a tall order. I'm supposed to transform all the darkness and negativity of the world into light. How do I do that? It's a difficult world. It's a chaotic and a dark world. How am I supposed to transform it? That's why the parasha begins and the account of creation begins with Bereishis, which is mistranslated in the beginning, but more properly, the beginning of Hashem's creating heaven and earth. The beginning. What's that word beginning? So Rashi brings that Bereishis means for the sake of base, two things which are called Reishis, beginnings. Torah is called Reishis, and he cites a pasuk in Mishlei, and Yisrael are called Reishis, the first beginning of Hashem's handiwork. For the sake of those two things, Torah and Yisrael, was Bereishis Bora Lekim, did Hashem create all of creation. Knowing that everything from the very beginning was created for the sake of Torah, and so that a Yid, by means of Torah, will be able to transform the world, that takes away the feeling of darkness and negativity in any obstacle, so that a person is able to overcome it. And Rabbi concludes with a bracha that by means of this avodah, this divine service throughout the years, we will be zoiche to the revelation in future of that original primordial light which was created on the first day of creation, which, as said before, is not the light of the sun, not the light of the moon and stars. And that's why the Novi says, no longer will the sun shine for you as an illumination. No longer will you see by the light of the moon, because Hashem will be your everlasting light. What's that everlasting light? That's the light from the beginning of creation, which was Hashem's mission statement.